happened to you?
Me? Oh, what happened to you? Hey, I'm, gorgeous.
Welcome back to the Tide Hangar, and I guess officially Happy New Year to everybody. Today I'm going to take a look at the TransArt BWM-03 Metal Panther Commander. This is their take on a Transmetal Cheetor. I gotta say it looks really good. A really nice looking Cheetor overall, and I do like the Transmetals a little bit more than the standard ones, so I got a little more excitement for this, and kind of excited that TransArt's giving us all these. Now I know this is a relatively old figure, but this is a reissue. This is so old it's already reissued, and what I ascertained the difference between this and the first one is this has more vibrant colors on it than the first one, so I'm kind of happy I waited in a way. But anyway, I did get this at Shozy. I'm gonna have a link down below where you can get yours. Remember, put in TH reviewer code. You go there and order it and put in TH reviewer code in the reviewer code slot. Helps me out. But anyway, let's get into taking a look at Metal Panther Commander. Coming up. Looking at the box, it looks pretty decent. It's got some kind of glittery kind of writing on it. Shiny reflective writing. Looks cool. And you just see art of the figure. On the side, there's really nothing. And on the back, it's I guess it's what his living room would look like. I don't know. His hut. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. There's the packaging. Alright, so let's take a look at this guy. I gotta say that I love the aesthetics of these, the aesthetic look, and I like how it shines. So we've got a lot of shiny paint to it, vibrant colors on it. Looks really nice. But then you get to the vacuum metallized part on the back, which, I mean, that is amazing. I'm probably going to leave a lot of fingerprints on it. And I think sometimes they include gloves, and this one they didn't for me, or a cloth or anything. But I'm not really too concerned about it. But yeah, it looks really good. Now, a couple of things here that I thought were a little strange, which, I mean, it's just the character and the figure. But the way the hands look, at first I didn't like it. I'm starting to get used to it. You kind of just ignore the face that's around the hands, and you can kind of see the hands. And that starts to look a little bit better. But I kept wanting to put the hands like this for some reason. But the hands are supposed to go like this for sure now. So this, get a close-up on that face, and it does look pretty good. It's got like a cat face to it. And a cool thing is that the mouth opens, so you don't see that much on any Masterpiece Transformers with like an opening or movement in the mouth. So that's something different about this one that I didn't know until I got it, that's a thing that it does, a thing that it can do. And going down here, there's this leopard print on this chest, which this is just standard cast in yellow with leopard print. Now the leopard print goes on the hands, and then you also have it on the inside of the thighs. So that is kind of cool. But my liking of the Transmetals is the fact that it feels like something you'd see in G1. Like, feels like the Dinobots a little bit more than organic. I never bought into the fully organic exterior of these guys. I feel like they should, in both modes, look metallic, look like they are robots, because that feels right to me, and that's why I like the Transmetals. And that's kind of where I kind of got into Beast Wars, when Transmetals were on the shelf too, so that kind of helped too, and I kind of like, okay, it all makes sense to me now a little bit more. But yeah, this guy looks pretty good. Down here we got this kind of aqua looking teal, shiny, reflective. Now it's not vac metallized, but it's shiny, and then a shiny silver down below, which is not too shiny, but I mean, you'd almost want to call that metallic. But yeah, looks good. Getting into the articulation, now the head does move side to side, up and down, but when you get in here to, say, the shoulder, because it has this butterfly, I guess you have to push in pretty hard to get that to stay, and you have a lot of range. Part of it is because this is the transformation, but yeah, I guess once you've got that pushed in pretty hard, it'll stay in there a lot better. But shoulder can go out to here, and then it swivels all the way around. The bicep swivel is actually on the elbow joint, and the elbow joint it's not double jointed, but it goes up really high. And then the hands are almost a little problematic because it really just goes up and down. There's no swivel around, but that is part of how it's supposed to go. And I think you have a little bit of articulation. I think, yeah, right here. You got articulation right here on the thumb. And the thumb has a hole which will hold this whip piece, which we haven't talked about yet, but we will in just a second. Getting down, we have an ab. Do we have an ab crunch? I'm pretty sure we have an ab crunch. Oh gosh, that's tight. Yeah, tight ab crunch. And then this comes off. So I don't think this accordion piece is supposed to come out. See, it snaps in there like that. It's supposed to say snapped in there, but it comes undone when you try to use the ab crunch. So I'm not a big ab crunch kind of guy, but a lot of people really love the ab crunch. It's side to side, and then the leg goes out to here, up to there. No hip flaps to worry about. Then you have kind of a universal type of a joint right here on the hip, and then you have, let's see if it's double. Nope, it only goes to there. And then you can get it back a bit like this if there was something you needed it to for the transformation, but not really that big of a deal. And then the feet. Now I want to say on the feet, you start out with this pushed up, and you don't have the heel spur in when you first get it out of the box. I found it's real easy. Fold down, and then once you fold the foot down, it'll just pull the heel spur out when you put it back in place. So that was an easy way to get the heel spur out. I was like, oh, real easy. But you do the side to side and up and down for the foot, and he's a pretty stable bot, so pretty good. For bot mode, the only real accessory is this whip. Now, the tip plugs onto it, and it's made of different material. The tip is kind of a shiny plastic, maybe painted, and then this is kind of a bendy kind of wire. So the bendy wire is so that you can get it in different poses, as if like he's about to fling it or something. It's in different poses. Yeah, if that works. But it's kind of cool. It's a cool weapon, a cool accessory, and I think they did it right. Of course, it doubles as a tail. It is the tail. It'll tell the tale of his tail when we do the transformation. All right, so scale-wise, here he is next to their TransArt Megatron, and this thing is, I didn't feel like it was that massively big when I reviewed it. I felt it was a pretty good size, but scale, I kind of feel that scales really well. Now, I'm not into flipping these things around every 5 minutes, especially with chrome that can chip off real easy. So I get them in a mode I like, and that's how I have them, and that's how I'm going to compare them. But yeah, that's a pretty good size comparison right there. Oh yes, Mike sucks at transforming. Here's how he scales next to Dinobot and the standard Optimus Primal. I think that's a good size, a good scale. It works for me. And again, I don't flip him back and forth that much. We'll see him compared to Cheetor in his alt mode. But yeah, that fits really good. I will be getting, when they reissue the Transmetal version of the Optimus Primal, I'll pick that one up. I really wasn't sure how far they'd go, if they'd be one and done or just do two. But they're going pretty deep, so now I'm pretty sure they'll reissue that one and probably have some improvements kind of like this one. This one looks brighter than the other one. All right, so let's get this guy transformed up. We are going to pull this mechanism back and all that beautiful chrome, fold his head back, lift this up, and then we're going to get the arms in place. And let me adjust this camera. Trying to work with a new tripod. That's a whole lot of fun. So this, what we're trying to do is get the arms situated to where I think that's exactly right. I think you just fold them up and they're exactly right. Like so. And then we're going to tab this stuff in. And then there's his mouth. So we've got that part done. Then we are going to move this down, and all this is going to go into here. So it's pretty relatively simplistic transformation. And then this is going to go up, and you got tab here and a slot there, and that all just tabs into place. Then we can move, oh, there we go. Then we ratchet this down, move it into place there, and we have this, which that is looking really nice. Look at all that shininess on it. It's looking really nice. Get this down. Then we're going to come around here to the back, and the legs come down, and then we fold that to the back to have more of a cat-like leg. And I don't think it comes out much further than that. So let's just going to do that. And then we have the tail. I form the tail. And we're going to shove the tail in there. Get that job done. And we've got it. Alright, so here he is in his cat mode. I think he looks pretty interesting. I'm wondering if I did something, because I think I lost an ear. I think I'm missing an ear on there. Yeah, I didn't notice when it was in hand mode, so I'm going to have to go back and view my footage. Was it missing in hand mode too? So that's kind of crazy. A little bit scary. Is he missing an ear? That's crazy. Well, he does have an opening mouth. Now, one good thing about Show Z is service after the sale if a part like this is missing. It may take a couple months, but they'll get it for you and mail it out to you. So missing an ear, dang, that sucks. But it is what it is. It looks magnificent. It is all that back metallized gold, and there's some teal kind of paint on it, and then the same teal paint that kind of goes through the rest of this, and the mouth, and then the jaw that opens, which is a little irritating because you have to open each finger that's part of the jaw at the same time. But it's got solid ratchets. Now I did feel this feels really loose. Although he will stand, it just feels like something that could be an issue in the future down the road, but he stands okay. You can have a wide stance or a pretty narrow stance. But yeah, I can see looseness in the elbows. I'm wondering if I should have done something to tighten those up at all. But yeah, that's kind of sucky in a way with the ear missing and now this being loose. But it's still an incredibly good looking figure. But there's a couple of things that I'm a little questionable about. Like, now I don't understand all that. Now I'm sure I'm gonna get the ear back, and I'm sure I'm not gonna have problems with posing it because I don't really move it around a whole lot. But what else we got going on here? This piece here, the accordion piece, kind of like tab it all back into place. And then I think we have an action feature here. Yeah, that is a fun action feature, which we're gonna see it in action. I do like the vac metal kind of going on right here too, that gold, that looks really nice. And then we see the back part here. A lot of stuff on the back that we really didn't look at a whole lot now is very prominent in this mode, so it looks pretty good. Do like the detail in here where this tucks away. That's a cool feature that was, I think, on the original toy. Sad thing is, the original toy I thought was the coolest looking one, but I never opened it. And then I sold it off because I wanted to buy some other stuff. So that's how that resets into there. So I actually never did anything with the original toy. So I thought it was the coolest looking one, but I didn't open it. So here we go. Put it back the way it was. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see how it looks on the stand. Good news, I did find my ear. So when I was editing, I was looking around and it fell on the floor, fell out of his head. I think if I remember correctly, you had to put them on. They didn't come with his ears on. So there it was. I guess I didn't push it in hard enough. So there it is. I'm not missing an ear. All right, so here's the stand, and you kind of plug this into here with some force. This does feel like some flimsy, flexible plastic. The stand is hard, but these pieces are flimsy and flexible. Now you're going to plug that into this. So this kind of plugs in here. But I feel like you got to give it quite a bit of force. And then he's up. Let's get it posed. And as we're posing this, we can put these blast effects into here, which is how that goes, and make sure that we don't lose the tight connection in there. Okay, so we have 3 blast effects, like a big one, and then a small one, and then a long one. Sorry, I went off screen with that. And then we plug them into here, and then we're going to get this whole look of it. So I think that looks good on the stand, and him doing his flying pose. So he will pose a lot better with this lower joint. That's ratcheted. That's a lot better. You could, of course, use this ratchet and take it straight if that's a thing that you wanted to do. But I think more natural is kind of down a little bit and up like so. And then probably like the legs further back. Be a more natural pose. I'm coming, big butt. I don't really feel like it is the greatest stand in the world, but if you get it in the pose you like, you can definitely display it. Yeah, like that. And you could also display it much lower. You could pop in this smaller one if you don't have as much space on your shelf. So you have some options with the stand. Again, this is like the second stand I looked at that I didn't think was great, but it gets the job done. And the figure, look at this. It just looks magnificent. Has a couple of issues, mine does, but far outweighed by how good this thing looks. So I'm going to start out by comparing to the official Takara Cheetor. Now I will go out and say this. This first Cheetor I got it off Amazon Japan back when I was still buying on Amazon Japan. It cost me like 46 bucks after all the conversions and all the savings and stuff they do over there. And I don't know why, but for like 3 weeks, Beast Wars stuff was just stupid cheap over there. And then it went to really ridiculous prices. But anyway, side by side, they're about the same size. Except this thing's a little beefier and chunkier, and if you add in the fact it's got the wings on it and stuff, it does feel like it's bigger, but really, I mean, looking at it, about the same size. And then we've got about how big the Megatron is. I feel like this is right. I mean, Megatron should be this much bigger. Back in the vintage toy line, there wasn't this big of a difference between the Megatron and the Cheetor. They were a lot closer in size and scale. This is much better, I think. This is more accurate to the show. Here is compared to the Bingo Toys, that Black Arachne one that I got from Shows they sent me out. And it's a whole different company going for a different thing. Doesn't have the vac metal that this one does. So aesthetically, you can see where the differences lie between these two. Still a great figure. And a few more TransArt figures that I've recently picked up. I've recently gotten into these. I think they all look magnificent. I love the vac metal in them. I love the Transmetal era. And I'm glad that I'm getting into them now. I hope they reissue more of them, but this is how they look. Rat Trap and Spider-Bot there. So, yeah, this is where we're at, and I hope for more of these in the future. Alright, so this is my look at the TransArt Metal Panther Commander BWM-03. Their take on a Transmetal Cheetor. I think it's a fantastic looking figure. I think that it gets the job done. The transformation is super easy. Everything seems to work on it pretty well. I did have, as you can see, a missing ear, which I haven't reviewed my footage yet. I'll have to do that in the editing to see if it was shipped without it or what. But also with this, the front part, one of these two joints here is really loose in the elbow. I can make it hold any pose I need to, no problem. As you can see, just manipulating it, it's not a big deal, but it's just something to be mindful of. Overall, I love this figure. I love this company and what they're doing with this. This is my favorite aspect of Beast Wars, and the fact that they're bringing it to life, and Takara is completely ignoring Transmetals kind of blows my mind, but hey, at least we're getting served up some figures, and they're pretty decent figures overall. The diecast that's in it, and the vac metal just puts it over the top. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I do have a link down there where you can get this from Show Z while they still have it in stock. This is the reissue second run. Like, subscribe, Teddy Hanger out.
The surge must have mutated your superstructures. I wonder what it did to your beast modes.
Beast mode!